Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. I think this is my favorite video. This is 5 random combat sport ideas my brain either thought of or I pondered because somebody else already had the idea. Because according to Nas, no idea is original. There's nothing new under the sun. Anyways, yeah, that's the title. I am not gonna work for a better title. We'll get into it. Number 1, Canelo Alvarez versus Dustin Poirier in boxing. Now both of them great boxers as we know. I mean Poirier's in MMA. We know that it always doesn't translate over to boxing, but I think with Poirier's work ethic and like a year-long camp, he could easily turn himself into a boxer for sure. Also, another thing too, it'd be interesting because Poirier would be at a more comfortable weight. The middleweight in boxing is like what 168, 164ish. I know Canelo usually goes like 164, 166. And Poirier's a big dude. He's like 177, right? Cutting 55, probably closer to the 80s, honestly, cut to 55. But 190, 195 outside of camp. So imagine him cutting basically 9 less, what I put here in my notes, 9 less. Very comfortable weight. I also think the media would be perfect, man. I just think these two would get along so well. They'd have such good banter, but not in like a mean way. I feel like, the media would just be amazing. Canelo's English has improved a ton, obviously. I don't want to say they have the same personality, but they have very similar personalities, I feel. They're both like greedy competitors that want to just have a war. But they have a little strategy, but still a little bit of a war. Now for the cons, I don't think Dustin has the McGregor effect, so the money bags wouldn't be as much as boxing usually wants. I still think it would bring in a decent amount because, like, the real, no offense, casuals slash people who tune in for super fights, history fights, whatever. But like, I think like the real combat sports fans would eat this up. Me included, it would be an amazing fight for us. But I don't know how well it would sell to the layman and the casuals, to be honest. I also think the WBC, WBO, WBA, and probably the IBF, even though he got stripped of his title, Canelo did, but they would just get in the way, especially because Dustin doesn't have the McNugget level of a cash grab, and that's what they really want. It's not necessarily for boxing. It's not necessarily about whatever the coolest fight is or whatever the best fight is. It really is about the money because I'm pretty sure boxing is breaking even still. I don't know. The Saudis' Riyadh season might have changed that. But I think it would create quite a stir in the boxing world if Dustin Poirier came in again. It's another MMA guy coming in, except this MMA guy is known basically as one of the best boxers, if not the best boxer. For me, it's number 2. Petr Yan's 1. But I think Canelo is too big of a superstar not to pass up on. And my thing is, like, what if Dustin actually won? What would boxing do from there? Because you're basically cooked. They have to make it some sort of exhibition where the belts weren't on the line. I have to go back and do my research into the Mayweather McGregor because I'm not really a huge fan of either. But I don't know if those they actually put belts on the line or it was just an exhibition. I know it counts as Connor's record, but whatever. Anyways, my prediction, I think it would be. Tell me if my math is wrong and my scorecards are wrong because I don't have good math skills and I'm just starting to get the hang of boxing scorecards. Kind of, I have it like 118, 110 for Canelo. I think Poirier's probably gonna win the first 2, maybe 3 rounds. He's definitely gonna get knocked down probably 2 to 3 times. I don't see Canelo getting knocked down by Poirier. I just don't. No offense to Poirier. I don't know if Poirier has that power. Plus, Canelo has critically never been knocked down. I know he got knocked down once, but the rope saved him. But he's never been knocked down in his entire career. So I don't think Poirier will be the guy to do it. To be fair, I still think Poirier would steal some rounds, especially since Canelo. I forgot to read this from my notes. Is a pretty slow starter. Maybe just the Munguia fight, but he's generally, in my experience, watching Canelo. I'm a Canelo fan, but casual rather boxing casual. But I think Poirier would be able to steal some rounds off him early. But we pretty much know it's boxing. Boxers have the advantage, and I think Canelo would play with him a little bit. I don't think Canelo would go for the knockout, anything crazy. I think he would just play with him, just have some fun. Number 2 idea, I think Rodtang against Pantoja in MMA would be electric. Now, call me delusional, but I think if you give Rodtang 3 years, so he's 27 right now, he'd be about 30. A little old, but not too old. Pantoja would be 37, assuming he still has the belt by then. And if he's not the champion anymore, to give it to whoever the active champion is. But I think Rodtang, with 2 years of straight grappling and like his conditioning, strength and conditioning, all that stuff, no Muay Thai or like very little Muay Thai. Then he gets a year to put it all together, get back in the Muay Thai, get in MMA striking. I think given Rodtang's already a champion in combat sports and has a high work ethic and a crazy chin, I think he would be a UFC champion level guy, to be honest. He has the physical attributes and he has the work ethic, the mentality, all that stuff. The only thing is literally just grappling skills. I mean, he was cracking Mighty Mouse in the MMA gloves, in the MMA octagon, in the mixed rules fight. Obviously, there was no threat of a takedown in the first round because it was kickboxing slash Muay Thai round. But that still flashes. It's still potential that he has high level MMA strike. If you can clip Mighty Mouse, crack him hard. I mean, Mighty Mouse said it's the hardest he's been hit. So I think there's definitely something there. I think it'd be interesting to see, honestly, because this fight works well with everybody because Pantoja's running out of opponents. I mean, we already got him from another organization. We might as well get him a new opponent from an entirely different combat sport at this point, right? If he's not going to fight, I guess, Kai Kara France or like, I don't know. I don't see who he really could fight if he beats Asakura. Now, I think the real issue isn't going to be the prep time for Rodtang. I think it'll be the weight cut. I mean, he's got to drop that 10 pounds again. I don't think he wants to. But we could see. I don't know. Maybe he would. Now, I think he might not be swayed due to the money because he's a devout Muslim. So he's not easily swayed by the things of the world. I think it would be tough to get him to do this realistically. I don't think he would leave his prime years in Muay Thai just to go to some white belt jiu-jitsu class and like high school wrestling. I think he would want to stay, maybe as one of the baddest men on the planet and top of the world in Muay Thai and kickboxing, instead of just going down to the beginner level. Or maybe he would. I don't know. I don't think anyone's really ever offered him the shot or the money. Now, this would mean we'd have to either do a one versus UFC card, or we have to poach him somehow from one championship. I don't know how that would all work. Now, I know Pantoja is going to ruin it somehow. He wouldn't clench or stand and bang. He'd probably just start laying and praying the whole fight, turn into Ben Askren type stuff, and he'd probably ruin it. But I think if they do go at the feet and Pantoja fights how he normally fights, call me crazy, I think we get a Rodtang round 4 knockout. I know Pantoja has the uncrackable chin, but especially at 37, and given Rodtang was cracking Mighty Mouse's chin, who got a pretty solid chin, let's be honest here, I think he could crack it, especially if Pantoja's 37. Whoa, 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 whoa. Sorry, I accidentally clicked double things. Jake Paul against Alex Pereira. Not an original idea because Jake Paul's been asking for it. There's a lot of positives here. I mean, Jake would get flatlined brutally. Even if they do it at cruiserweight, heavyweight, somewhere in between, whatever, who cares? It would get absolutely demolished. I don't see. We'll get into it. I mean, Alex gets the boxing money too, and that's what we want to see from him. I mean, he's old man, right? 37. He needs his bag, bro. Give him this. I know he's getting paid pretty well by the UFC, but boxing money is different. He needs that boxing money. I think that would definitely help both the popularity of MMA and boxing. I mean, Jake Paul is already kind of doing it, I guess, but I don't know how many Jake Paul fans are like hardcore watching those, Friday night ESPN top rank fights, to be fair. But there could be some. I don't know. I think if Pereira wins, bro, it's money bags for MMA, money bags for boxing. It's just money bags everywhere, and that's what Dana loves to see. So maybe Dana would allow it. I know he said he wouldn't, but I think he could be persuaded a little better if someone really pitched him properly. Now, I think in MMA it would be a lot cooler if they did it at 205 in MMA. I think it would be interesting. I don't know if Jake has the wrestling. I know Logan has the wrestling background, but I still don't think he would shoot on Alex Pereira. I don't think he would have a good enough wrestling, to be honest, considering it's like basic high school level, and Alex Pereira is a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I know it's the fake black belt order, but he still has some grappling. If you see his recent stuff, now, I know Jake's. I don't really believe that violence can be rigged. I believe it can be manipulated and swayed, but I don't think you can fully rig what goes on in the ring / octagon. You can really rig it. I think there are things you can do to create advantages. I also don't know if Jake's getting steroid tested, so I think Jake would just show up at like a roided out 270, just be this mass monster just to get an advantage over Alex Pereira. But I still think Alex Pereira would win. I don't know how great of a chin Jake has. I mean, at least compared to Alex Pereira's power. Now, like, what if I know it's heresy to suggest, but like, what if Pereira were to lose? Would this ruin everything? Would this ruin all of his hype? I don't know. I don't think it really would do anything per se, because I think everybody would say, "Oh well, it's rigged. Move on. Go to MMA. You get his knockouts in MMA." I don't think it would really affect his career too much. Now, number 4, I have Henry Cejudo against Kayla Harrison because Kayla Harrison has been asking for this already. She's hyping it up. She's building. She's building her fight right now. She's building their super fight. But it'll be battle of gold medalists, maybe UFC champs if Kayla gets her title shot soon. I mean, you could call it battle of MMA champs, like the greatest combat athletes ever or something. I don't know. I mean, the money bags, man. I know Dana would get hard on for this, bro. Dana loves money. I know it's very unethical to have a man fight a woman, but like at the same time, it's Henry Cejudo, so like tiny man, but still. Kayla Harrison would probably get demolished, and it would kill her hype for sure. I mean, knowing MMA fans, they wouldn't care if it was against a man or a woman. If you get knocked out, your hype train is done, over. And again, Cejudo wins, he's probably going to get made fun of and shamed for it. Like, wow, you had to fight a woman to get a win, yada, 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 yada. But, like, props for Cejudo, man. Honestly, if he took the fight and did it, like, went through all the crap to change his gender or whatever, that would be absurd. I don't think Cejudo would do it, but it would be funny if he did. And it's probably not a good look for the UFC if they had a woman fight a man, but at the same time, it's Henry Cejudo, so I feel like the people that know would, like, forgive it. Now, this one is an absolute crackhead idea, I will admit, but it's beautiful. So, Volk, just by himself, one Volkanovski against a Kayla Harrison and Amanda Nunes at 145 pounds for them. They get that 10-pound advantage, or 10-pound less cut, whatever. 2-on-1, like I said, Eddie Hall style, man. I think it would go crazy. Imagine if Volk got like a crazy double knockout where he went like slip, uppercut, and then from the uppercut with like a left hook, knocked out Nunes and Harrison back to back. That would be amazing. And the weight class wouldn't be an issue, man. They're both all three of them are 45ers, really. So be pretty solid. You obviously be very unethical to do this. Not for Volk. Not to have Volk fight two people at the same time, but for the women, obviously. It's not fair. Volk's gonna absolutely demolish them. Round 1 KO easily. It's not even a fair fight. Now I put the Volk's chin con, but like realistically, there is no way Amanda Nunes is cracking Volk's chin. Kayla and Amanda could both throw two hooks straight on the chin clean. It's not cracking Volk's chin. I just don't think it's possible. The only way is if you got like head kicks from both directions, but I just don't think his chin's gonna be cracked even by a woman. No offense, woman. But yeah, Volk wins this very easily. Two big wins to the resume too. You know, man, Nunez, women's goat, and Kayla Harrison, very solid. So two big wins to the resume. He got another title shot, or he already earned it, I thought. Anyways, thank you for listening to my unbridled, unparalleled autism. Here's some other super fights you think of this video, and God bless.